Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I'm so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. So grateful, so grateful. Okay, we're going to start with the dice. Let's see what's flowing in with these dice, okay? Thank you, Spirit, for the message that is needed at this time for this beautiful being. Okay, you've got, this is the Eiffel Tower. You are reaching new heights, okay? And one of the most magical things about this is that because you're reaching new heights, it's not just about what you're able to do and accomplish now, it's about what you're able to see. You can look down and see where you used to be, and now you're like, wow. So that's a part of it. A part of your journey is recognizing 111 on the timer, recognizing where you used to be versus where you are now, and how your view has changed, okay? Also, you might like French food. You may have traveled to France. You might be thinking about traveling to France. You might be learning some French, okay? Or learning French. Oh, and look, we've got the globe here, and it looks like travel. So yeah, some of y'all might really be considering traveling, and maybe France is on the list of destinations or possible destinations. Some of you might have French heritage, or it could be a place where French is spoken, or a version of French, like Haiti. Where else, y'all? I took geography in college. Help me out, though. Oh, Canada, yeah. Okay, but some of y'all might be traveling soon. That could be a really good thing to do if you're wanting to sort of switch up the vibe, maybe get out of the routine of what you've been doing and just spend some time. I'm getting that some of you might be traveling alone, so that's always a great thing as well, because you can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it and at your own pace, okay? All right, you've got a fish here, so this is abundance that's coming in for you, because for me, fish represent abundance, okay? Also, some of you are making very healthy changes to your diet, and that's a wonderful thing, especially since in the Northern Hemisphere, we are now in fall, and as we have more hours, more dark hours during the day, a lot of people are prone to depression, so you can help offset that by making sure you're getting a good night's sleep and also eating healthy, okay? Some of y'all might be going fishing, connecting with nature, whether you're going fishing or not, but I see you connecting with nature and also connecting with the water element. And here, okay, this is somebody digging. So you might be researching something. I see that you're like, you want to learn more about something. For some of you, this is that you're figuring out how something happened. You're putting together the pieces of the puzzle, kind of reflecting on a situation. Oh, and this makes sense because we're now in Mercury retrograde, or heading into it soon, I believe. I think it starts on the 9th. So yeah, okay. I'm kind of off with my dates right now, but I do believe that Mercury retrograde begins on the 9th. So with that energy already here with the pre-shadow, some of you are going back to a previous experience and you're reflecting on it, you're thinking about it, you're putting the pieces together. Divine says everything is working out. So if you have been trying to piece the pieces of a puzzle together, of a story together, trying to figure something out, if it's been stressing you out doing that, Divine is saying that it's all working out, okay? There's no need to stress. Spirit never wants you to stress out. Never, never, ever, okay? Divine says you are taken care of and everything is working out in your favor. Ashe, Divine. I love that message. I'm gonna claim that one for myself too. All right, let's see here. Let's go to the Wisdom Oracle and get a card for you. Thank you, Divine. What I'm tempted to look. Flexible and why? That's just what we were talking about, right? Like trying to put together. And what I'm getting is that there might be something that you feel you need to know, but you might feel like there's somebody who's not being forthcoming, okay? With this flexible and why? Yeah, there's something that you want to get all the details about. But Spirit is saying, be flexible in how you think about it, how you approach this topic in your mind, like from a mental state. Because if it's causing you stress, they said that's not where they want you. These are your spirits talking to you. This is the divine talking to you. They don't want you in a state of stress. So the question is it necessary to know it all? Is it necessary to know it all? Okay, what's coming through for this beautiful being? Message in a bottle. So that's a part of it, is that divine is saying that what you need to know will be revealed to you. Also with message in a bottle, I'm getting that there is something that may be concealed from you at this time, because it's like it's in a bottle. You can't get to it just yet, but that is divinely planned. It's not time right now. It's not time. Look, it's time to go. So take that how it resonates. For some of you, it's time to move forward. It's time to move forward with something that you have been planning to do, but you just haven't been doing it because maybe you needed confirmation. This is your confirmation. It's time to move forward with something that you have been feeling in your heart or in your gut, that it's time to do it. But also time to go. I'm seeing that if you have been stressing over the details of how something happened or why it happened, it's time to move forward from asking that question, why. It's great to ask why, but when it causes stress, fork in the road. So for some of you, there will be a time in the near future where you will make a choice. Okay, you're gonna make a choice, and this choice involves change. What guidance do we have with this? Yeah, with Imagine here, Divine says, with this fork in the road, imagine where you want this new direction to take you, and that's where you can go. They said it's not all up to the fates. It's up to you how this looks, how it plays out when you make this change. Okay? Yeah, it's up to you how it looks. I'm also getting that time to go is not literal for all of you. It's figurative, where it's just time to get started with something, or it's time to release something. It's time to let it go so that you can move forward. It's time to go. Okay? Alrighty. Let's see here. Where we going, Spirit? The extra deck. The extra deck. Yes. Let's see what's coming through for you, beautiful being. Divine, please bring through whatever this beautiful being needs to know regarding their current situation or a conflict. At the bottom, we've got excess, too much, gluttony, okay, and also intent to hurt or harm. Then we've got deity behind that. So there is something that, for some of you, someone was trying to use a situation in order to try to bring harm to you. And they were doing this in excess. They were just doing too much, okay? But you have been, so they wanted to bring harm, and it's almost as if they were addicted to this idea of causing some sort of ending for you in your world, but you have always been protected by your spirit allies, okay? Always. We have siblings here and unconditional love, stalker, spy, and a Taurus. There could be a Taurus involved here, okay? We've also got role model. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that there is a sibling who is pretentious. They act as though they are a role model. Okay, so a sibling who's very pretentious. They act as though they were the perfect role model. This could be like the golden child, okay? The one who is seen by most people as perfect and having it all together. You may have a sibling like this, okay? I feel like who I'm talking to is more of, I'm getting more of a black sheep energy from you, like a lone wolf energy, but let's see. What's the energy of this beautiful being that I'm reading for regarding this spread? Oh, you are the collective. Yes, you are the collective. You are royal. And what I know about this collective is that you are a beautiful being. However, there are a lot of people in this world who don't want to give you your flowers. They don't want to give you credit for being the beautiful being that you are. 11:11 on the timer. So there is someone around you. This doesn't have to be a blood relative, a blood sibling, but it is someone who could have been a past life sibling, okay? Or someone who sort of acted as though they were a friend or a sibling. Maybe they wanted to be your sibling. They wish that they were your sibling. But this is a very pretentious person who came across as perfect. They were very concerned with how they were perceived by people. Also, any love that they gave, it was expressed with outward actions, like things that they did, ways that they spoke, love bombing. It was the way that they interacted with people that they always wanted to show their love. But behind closed doors, or when things were not on display to be seen and observed by other people, 12:12 on the timer, they never showed love. Okay? So their love was a lot like their energy is coming through, very pretentious, very much driven by the credit that other people would give them, okay? So if they were interacting with you and other people around, oh, they were so nice. But then as soon as you guys were not around a group of people with eyes on you, they were catty and rude and petty and toxic, okay? They pretended as though they had unconditional love for you. And I feel like this is something that at one point, they had people fooled. They had people fooled into believing that they always gave you unconditional love. But you figured out very early on that their love was very conditional. And that they really did not have the best intentions for you at all. In fact, they had evil intentions, because we had that card with the intent to hurt or harm. So that was a part of their cover-up, was that they made it look like they had the best of intentions for you, but they really didn't. This person is a stalker, okay? They might have a lot of Taurus energy in their chart, or you do. But also what I'm getting with this Taurus card is that whether, like, no matter what you all's natal charts look like, this person was motivated by financial wealth, financial gain. And they were very much obsessed with the pleasures of life, like physical pleasures, earthly possessions and pleasures, okay? There could be a Sagittarius here, or someone who has a lot of Sagittarius energy in their chart. This could be this person or you with Sagittarius energy in their chart. But this person is a copycat, okay? At some point in your journey with this person, they became very obsessed with looking like you, dressing like you, acting like you. They damn near wanted to be you, okay? If they could have woken up one day and have become you, that would have been an answer to their prayers, okay? All right, so here we've got the Page of Pentacles and the Star. So this person definitely sees you as the star. They also see that you have opportunities after opportunities after opportunities, multiple opportunities, like never ending, for you to manifest this energy of the star. I'm getting that this person sees you as the star, but they really don't like that, okay? This is one reason why they have always wanted to be in your world, trying to offer you a cup, was because they saw that you had it all. They saw that you had everything. And you, more than likely, being a very level-headed person, never really thought that someone was seeing you in this light, that they were seeing you and putting you on a pedestal, more than likely because they were sometimes treating you in a degrading way. They were making comments to you like snide remarks, saying little things under their breath that only you would hear. This was a very covert type of narcissism that they demonstrated to you because it was very hidden and it went under the radar for so many people, but you picked up on it, okay? Yeah, there was a change here where you shifted this perspective. We're also in the 16th minute, 16, where I'm getting that there was like a tower and you felt like your energy was too available to this person. You felt like, and that's something that you started to just understand, was that this person could only do to you what you allowed them to do. And so you put up your defenses and you put up boundaries, and you said that you would never ever allow this person to put you down, to separate you from your true self, to slow you down and make you act. Okay, so that's what I'm getting, is in the beginning, it was like Divine brought through that you were wanting to piece together this situation. This could be the situation that you were trying to put together. Like, why did this person come after you? What exactly is it that you're wondering about why this person did this? Okay, first of all, they needed strength and they came after yours. This person is very insecure and very weak at heart, and they do not have control over their animalistic nature, okay? That's why they use covert narcissism as a means to get the attention and the validation that they desire. But they don't get it in the way that you seek connection. When you connect with someone, you do it from a place of truth and honesty and really wanting to get to know a person and wanting to invest in them, or enjoying that they invest in you. With this person, everything was about manipulation and a game, okay? So I'm so grateful that Spirit is bringing this right back around to the beginning, because what Divine is saying is that with a person like this, you can ask questions all day long and they are still not going to make sense. This person's actions are still going to leave you like, why? Because your souls are totally different. That's why you had the dice for the Eiffel Tower, because you are in an elevated space. You don't see things from the same perspective as this copycat, because first of all, it offends you. Like, if you were ever to try to copy off of someone, you would offend yourself, because you're like, I don't want to do what they did. I want to do my thing. You know what I mean? You don't even think of doing the same things that this person does. It makes you, it repulses you. You would never be in this energy. You might be inspired by someone and be like, okay, that gives me an idea for what I want to do. But you don't look at other people and drool over what they're doing and then go copy it and claim it as your own or something like that, okay? Which is exactly what this person spends all of their time, energy, and effort doing, okay? Yeah, so a lot of the questions that you might ask about this person, they might never be answered, because this person thinks from a very crooked state, from a very strange perspective, this very low vibe and evil. I mean, they literally have the intent to harm others. That's how they draw on the energy of other people. You would never do that, okay? So Divine is saying that you're moving on to calmer waters, because I feel like, and for some of you, this could have been a sibling that you grew up with who is like maybe from other people's perspective, people thought that you were living in their shadow, but actually you were the one who was very genius. You were the one who had such a close connection to spirit, okay? Oh, what I'm getting with the Seven of Swords, which is flashed into my third eye, was that you could have had a parent or parents who reinforced this way of thinking about you and this sibling. This sibling who's very pretentious and very like copying you but never giving you credit and all of this kind of stuff. You may have had a parent, or you may have a parent, or parents who reinforced this thought or this view of the two of you, that you were the one who was living in their shadow and that they were the one that was always on the pedestal, okay? And if that is something that you experienced, I'm so sorry, because that's just, you know, a lot of parents do that. But it always goes back to how they see themselves. Like if a parent sees something about themselves that they need to work on or that makes them uncomfortable, but they see that attribute within you as their child, then a lot of times a parent will slight their child for that very reason, you know? And really what they need to do is love on that aspect within themselves and help their child to accept and embrace that aspect within themselves as well. And if there's any guidance that that child needs, then they're willing to give them guidance, you know? It's kind of like if a parent sees that their child flies off the handle a lot and they have a hot temper. Well, if they alienate that child and go off on them when they have a hot temper, because they know that they themselves have a hot temper, and they are so worried that that child is going to be like them and have a hot temper. So when they show that they are going off and, you know, going from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, if they would just allow that person, their child, to breathe through that emotion, and if they would talk them through that and do the same thing for themselves, then they could both grow together. But what a lot of parents do is they identify something within their child that they hate about themselves, and then they fault them for it. So that's what I'm seeing with the Seven of Swords, that you may have been on the receiving end of that negative treatment. Also, you know, that would make, that just adds to the rivalry between the siblings. It also means that it's very difficult to have to then love yourself through that wound that a parent who's supposed to love and honor you and help you to love yourself has caused. They caused that damage. Now you have to learn how to fix it. You see what I'm saying? So it does create a lot of tension and sadness. Okay? What else about this Seven of Swords do we need to know, Divine? Okay, so there could be some communication that has just completely come to an end. You might not be talking to this sibling anymore, or you may have distanced yourself from parents, or from a parent who reinforced this way of thinking, that there was a golden child and then there was you. You know what I mean? It's like where they create this dynamic within a home or a family that makes us think that one sibling is better than the other, or more loved. Not even better, just more loved or more appreciated. But when a parent favors one child over another, it's really because of their own insecurities and what they hate about themselves and how they see themselves in their children. So if this pretentious sibling was like the golden child and they had preferential treatment from your parents, then that just means that there were more attributes within your sibling that soothed your parents about attributes within themselves. So there was some commonality there. When they looked at you, they saw something different, something special. Why? Because you're chosen, because you're backed by your spirits and by the divine, okay, and by the angels, okay? That's why. Yeah, communication may have come to an end between you and either this sibling or you and your parents. Why? Because you chose to move forward and say, fuck this shit. I'm moving forward to my own happiness. And I'm going to create the connections and manifest the connections and the joy that I deserve to feel. That's what you said. And so you moved forward and manifested harmony and emotional fulfillment and peace for yourself. Now that doesn't mean that when we manifest that we are always in that state, but that was your goal. And that is your goal. Okay? What else, Spirit? Yeah, so they're, oh, you know what I'm getting? Okay, so I'm recording this between Halloween and Thanksgiving, okay? Scorpio season. So it feels like, because we're in holiday season now, you may have received a message. It could have been an invitation. You might be thinking now about how are you going to handle the holidays? Are you going to move forward and, you know, bite your tongue and go to the Christmas dinner or the Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, you know? So we've got Temperance here. And so that feels like a very balanced state. That feels like where you're being guided to go, okay, with this. Is there any guidance that this beautiful being needs to have regarding any decisions that they're making that have to do with their family or any family events, upcoming family events, or anything that they need to know about this situation at this time, Divine, regarding guidance about making a decision? Drank the Kool-Aid, bought into an idea or story completely without questioning its authenticity, rode the hype train, joined the cult. This feels like a family cult. That's what that is. This feels like a family cult. And for some of you, this might not be a sibling, but it's like somebody that you've had a rivalry with because they came for you. They were like, you know, and this is because there's a past life connection. It's a karmic. And they wanted to sort of bring you down. But there is a family dynamic, 2727, surrounding you and this person that has a rivalry with you. I don't even feel like you have a rivalry with them because you're like, I don't even care. Just leave me alone. Let me be. Okay, you're in a state of peace. But this person has always wanted to compete with you. I'm seeing that this person, this sibling, this karmic, they feel like a narcissist. Because what I'm getting is that they have inspired a group, whether it's blood family or some sort of cult or coven or neighborhood group or workplace group, but they have gotten people together to try to do to you what they wanted to do to you, which was isolate you, paint you out to be this, paint you out to be that. This feels very toxic. It feels very toxic. And so what I'm getting is that, ooh, unpaid. Deadbeat, irresponsible and lazy, lack of accountability, shifts the blame, drains others' energies. Yeah, that's this karmic. They really don't do much of anything other than stir up trouble, but they paint a picture of themselves that is so impressive. So impressive. Okay? Demonizing. Yeah, they've demonized you. They have painted a picture of you to others that just has really tried to alter. They've really tried to alter the way that other people see you. But what's coming through is that, you know, what they're seeing is a version of you that was created by this person. And so anyone who fails to see the truth about you, well, then this person did you a favor because they separated the people who actually have common sense and who understand that the best way to know who someone is to get to know that person. There's no one on the face of this earth who should buy into the lies and the gossip that is spread about another person. And if they do buy into that and they believe that that person is negative or whatever it is that they've been described as, if they buy that just because someone has said that about them and then they treat that person in a negative way because of that, then that lets you know everything that you need to know about that person, that you do not want them in your life. Because you want people who are intelligent enough and emotionally competent and intelligent enough to understand that the only way that you should develop any sort of judgment about a person is through your very own experiences with them. What you have witnessed with that person and what you have experienced with that person. And anybody in this little cult, coven, or family group, parents included, okay, who does not understand that that is how we are good humans, okay? Very simple. Get to know the person for yourself. Base your judgments of that person. If you're going to judge their character, judge it by getting to know them. If they're not doing that, then you know what? You don't need them. And you don't need them this holiday or any other holiday either, okay? I always say use your discernment, but all right, look, soul's best interest serves your deepest truth and highest potential, even if it doesn't feel good in the moment. So this is about having the courage to do what's right for you, okay? Because temperance, oh, and look, now this has a whole other meaning to me. Look, 8 of Wands, death. There may be something that you need to bring to an end or say no to, or be like, oh, this is an invitation? Okay, well, no thank you. I'm gonna do me. Okay? And you can be happy on Thanksgiving. You can be happy on Christmas Day. You can be happy on New Year's and be at peace. And it may mean that, you know, you're passing up on a family tradition and maybe you want to partake in that tradition, but you're like, I just can't belittle myself enough to go into that situation knowing that I'm going to experience all of the toxicity and all of the this and the that. Like, you know what you can take. You know what makes you feel like you have to shrink yourself, and you know what makes you feel like you are free to be you. And if being in an environment with these people, whether they're blood related or not, brings you to a state of feeling like you're shrinking yourself and you just can't handle it because it's like, you gotta bust out. If that's how being in an environment with these people leads you to feel, then it's not worth it. Look, territorial. Somebody is territorial here. Marking and defending what's yours. Being protective over people, possessive due to fear of loss. So I feel like someone in this cult or coven is very territorial. There's nothing wrong with being territorial and protecting what's yours, but when we do that out of fear, that's what it is. Okay, so this sibling or this karmic is very fearful of losing supporters. They're afraid of losing followers. For some of you, this person could be online, but they are extremely afraid of losing someone's support, okay? And so that's why they have worked so hard to demonize you, because they want more and more people in their corner. How is this going with their, oh look, notifications, messages coming in fast. Be on the lookout for an important message, quick communication. What I'm also getting here though is that a lot of people are quick to not believe this karmic. Especially with the 8 of Wands and death there, I'm getting that a lot of this person's communication is falling on deaf ears. People don't want to hear it anymore. How are people viewing overall? How are people viewing this narcissistic person? Aesthetic chaser. They see this person as someone who actively adjusts their appearance to align with mainstream beauty standards, drawn to partners who fit a certain look. People know that this person is trying to flex. They know that this person is obsessed with looks and with material things. And I had said that with that Taurus energy card, that Taurus card, that this person is obsessed with the physical realm. But you ask them about their connection to spirit, you ask them about their sense of self-love, they don't know. And they don't care, because that's not what they put their focus on. That's not what they pay attention to. They might come up with something that sounds good, you know, but there's no sustenance there. Okay? Cakeism. This person wants to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have you around, and so that they can use you as a source of energy and siphon your energy. but they also want to have the validation of everyone else. So that is why, for some of you, this holiday season is very important that you protect your soul and put your soul's well-being, the well-being of your soul first. Because you got people out here who are using this holiday season and these gatherings as a way to sacrifice people, to siphon their energy. No. I would rather be at home on my sofa watching What a Beautiful Life or something like that. Home Alone, that's my favorite. Or Elf on Christmas Day than being around this nonsense, because that's all it is. It's absolute nonsense. You are the main character, and that's why they're mad. Look, after all of this, you are the main character, and that is why this karmic is so angry, okay? You have stepped into your power. You are seen and you are heard. You shape your narrative, and you can't hide, and you can't shrink yourself either. So for those of you who do decide to go to these holiday gatherings, don't shrink yourself, okay? And protect your energy. Make sure that you are prepared to take a spiritual bath. You can take one before and after the event, okay? You can wear your crystals, charge them, bless them, okay? Light a candle, do whatever you need to do to build up your energy, and then to cleanse your energy when you leave, okay? And also set boundaries. Like if the event lasts for 3 hours or 4 hours, 5 hours, you can stay for half an hour, and that's just fine. Just show up, bring your little dish if you want to, say hi, and get the hell out, okay? You can make it what you want to make it. You don't have to stay. You don't have to be accommodating to other people who are all about the bullshit. You don't have to do that, okay? All right, yeah, blackballed. Look, ostracized or excluded from a group due to disapproval or negative actions, intentionally shut out. And that's why I wouldn't be there. Because it feels like, you know, I always say it's one thing to be invited, it's another thing to be welcome. And so what I'm getting for some of you, this won't apply to all of you, but for some of you, there could be some setup type vibes here where a person knows that they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to create an environment where they welcome you in there so that they can get their energy fix, okay? Also, I have been to a party where someone attempted to poison me. Okay, and so I know how this goes, where like people are working against you and they just want to see how they can impact you, either with some witchcraft or with some negative energy, or just do something to put put a wrench in your plan, make it so that you have to go to the hospital or something like that. Like, people do the dumbest things just to try to one up you or to see if they can gain power over you. And thankfully, when that happened to me, I was just fine, okay? My body was like, not today. My body handled it, and I was just fine. But that was a very telling lesson as far as human nature and the extent that some people will go to in order to try to siphon your energy, or just sit back and watch you struggle, or whatever it is that they want to see happen to you, so that they can feel like they're in a position of power. So that's why with this card coming through, blackballed, it does feel like there's some intentional energy where they want to, at the very least, ostracize you and make you feel isolated. So if you're not being invited to a place where you're going to be welcome, I personally wouldn't go, but you know, you have to use discernment and do what you feel is best for you, okay? All right, let's see here, Divine. We're at 38. Okay, let's go ahead and get... Oh, I'm feeling Oshun for this one. Yeah, come through, Oshun. Yeah, they just can't handle your energy. Like, one of the first dice that came through, I think the first one was the Eiffel Tower. They see your come up, they see your glow up. And that is why... Yeah, see, okay, so this sibling character or this karmic, they may have been chilling for a little while if they had not seen your glow up. But that's why they are really bothered right now, is because they see that you have changed. And so they want to set you back. You know, it's like, oh, you've done just a little too much. I got to put you back in your place so I can feel like I'm better and I'm oh, and especially because this is a person who values appearances and all of that. And look, you are so beautiful. They feel very intimidated by your physical beauty. And they already know that when it comes to spirituality, oh, it was over before it started, okay? Because there's nothing that they do to connect with spirit and to nurture themselves on a spiritual level. So now with this, whatever current or recent glow up it is that you've been through, now they really can't handle it. Because they're like, I knew they were always with it with spirituality, but now they've surpassed me with physical beauty. And it's like, it's always got to be a contest, right? So as long as they want it to be a contest, it's going to be a contest in their mind, no matter how grounded and kind and loving you are. So I would just protect my energy and handle your business. If you don't have to go, or if you feel like you're not going to enjoy any sort of time with this person or around them, you don't owe them a thing. Okay, Oshun the Creatrix. This is card 8, creativity, artistic expression, and breakthroughs. Yeah, you've had breakthroughs. Okay, this is the energy that you are in, and that's why this person is so intimidated by you. And then you've got card 14. Okay, card 8 is the strength energy. And then you've got card 14, which is temperance. And we had pulled temperance for you, I do believe. Yeah, we have pulled temperance. Where is that temperance card? Oh, you got the star card too. I forgot all about that. Where is the temperance card? Okay, it was here. I know we pulled it. All right, so that's balance and alchemy, okay? Because you've alchemized so many things and you are in a state of balance and harmony, and they know that, okay? So this is about Oshun the healing sage, restoration, compassion, and wounded healer, okay? Maybe we'll read a little of both because I feel like both are extremely important. Let's start with card 14. Okay, they're saying start with 8. All right. Here we are. Yes, your creative energies are at their peak. That's why we pulled the Eiffel Tower. You're at your peak, okay? So what are you doing about it? This goddess represents artistic talents and the creative thinking that can be applied to any area of life. Close the door on procrastination and perfectionism. Maybe there's something that was said about this person or by this person that made you feel like you needed to adjust something. You don't need to adjust anything based on this wicked person's point of view, because anything that they say is just intended to bring you down. It's not intended to encourage and support you. It's time to get to work and get to play on your creative magic. Whether you are birthing a person, a building, or a painting, you are in the zone. This goddess is a reminder that creativity is not a scarce resource, but an infinite wellspring that you can tap into. Trust your unique ideas and perspectives. You hold the key to creating something exceptional. Absolutely. And this is what Divine is bringing through. Being around a toxic group at this time could drain your creative energy, okay? Now sometimes once you work through it, it can inspire you to create, but you really have to keep your vibe high in order to be able to alchemize some sort of like isolation energy where people are trying to shun you and all of that. Once you alchemize it, oh, you can create a whole lot of wonderful things with that type of energy. But you have to be aware of what's happened, of the energy that they've sent you, and you have to be willing to alchemize it, okay? All right, this is Oshun Healing Sage, restoration, compassion, wounded healer. The mantra is, I am open to restoration and balance. I see you. You, dear soul, embody the essence of a wounded healer, someone with a huge capacity for empathy, healing, and support. You easily give to those in need, offering solace and understanding. Your heart is a haven for the wounded and the broken, and that is in part because of the work that you've done to heal yourself with this family dynamic or whatever this situation is, okay, that came through in the reading. You can't pour from an empty cup, and Goddess knows you've tried. Boundaries protect your magic and your strength. No more people pleasing. Set healthy limits in your interactions and relationships. Think of boundaries like shields, not walls. In your dedication to healing others, you may unintentionally neglect the most important healing journey, your own. Your ability to nurture others is a divine gift, but it shouldn't come at the expense of your own well-being. Okay? So that says a lot regarding this topic. Whatever it is that you decide to do, put yourself first. Make yourself a priority. And realize that there's nothing that you have to give into for the sake of tradition or for the sake of pleasing other people, especially when those other people are not bending over backwards to do something for you. Okay? So, I hope that this reading helped you. I hope it blessed you. And I hope it gave you good vibes and clarity and all that good, wonderful stuff. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. And I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.